Alright guys, I think we've found the business lounge. Spelled correctly this time. Let's go get a coffee, something to eat. Good morning everybody, Jim here. Scottish guy, not in Moscow. I'm in Minsk National Airport. I'm in the business lounge, which is pretty good. Check it out, I'm laying on these sort of indoor sunbeds. It's about 5:30 in the morning and I want to tell you a story about how I made a Russian visa mistake and ended up $600 later. But it does mean I'm going to be in the better seats on the plane. I've also pulled a muscle in my ribs as well. Is this what getting older is like? Just constantly in some sort of pain. But anyway, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Maybe show you around the business lounge, show you the business class seats when we got on the plane. Although, I think it's going to be the snidiest business class flight I've ever taken. Because, from what I understand, it's basically the same as economy, the size of the seat, but they fold down the middle seat to give you more space of the three. And of course the food and stuff will be better anyway. I'm not complaining, but it's maybe not going to be the best business class seat that we've ever seen in our lives. But here we go. This is what happened. Let me lay back. So basically I flew into from Moscow to Minsk on my Russian work visa. Now, if you fly in on a tourist visa free from the UK, you can stay for 30 days in Minsk. Now, I can stay here as long as my Russian visa is going, so normally I could come here for as long as I wanted, which would be totally fine. But I booked my flight out the day after my Russian visa expired. And I didn't even realise, I didn't really pay much attention to it, I didn't really think about it. So, when you're in Minsk, Moscow as well I think, you need to get registered. So you need to go to it's not quite the police station, it's more sort of a governmental place where you need to go to get registered. If you stay in a hotel, they'll do it all for you online, which is fine. But because I've came in on a Russian visa, it's a little bit different. You've got to present yourself to the actual place in order to get registered. When I'm going through the registration process, the girl who was doing it was basically like, your flight out of here is the day after your registration finishes. When you get to the airport, you'll end up being detained because you've overstayed. So I was like, oh no, I don't believe it. Right, okay, fair enough. So she registered me. She probably didn't need to, but she registered me anyway. And she's like, well, you can take the chance. Maybe you'll get through, maybe you won't. So I thought it over. I'm like, I don't really want to get to the airport and then end up being detained, missing my flights, and then having to book another flight anyway. So I thought I'll just jump online, change my flight with Belavia. Belavia is like the British Airways or American Airlines of Belarus. It's the national airline of Belarus. So, jumped online and it's a complete nightmare. In order to change it, you can't just change it like any other airline. You've got to fill out a form, not in English of course, and then email it and wait for them to email you back. So I thought I'm just going to go to the place in Minsk, Belavia. I've got like a big, what would you call it, travel agency. So I went there thinking, right, here we go, how much is this going to hit me? Maybe a couple of $100 or something to change my flight. And my flight was an economy flight. You know, I usually take the cheapest flight. I flew business in the past, but you know, generally if it's a 4-hour flight, I'm on my own, I'm just going home, I'm just going to take the cheapest flight. So that's what I did. I had an economy flight out and there was no seats left. And bear in mind, there's only like one plane going there per day. So I said, well, try the day before, completely sold out. Of course, Belarusians must be going to Turkey on holiday or changing planes because there's a lot of sanctions here in Belarus in terms of flights, so there's not many places that they can go to. So everything's sold out. She's like that, but she said, well, you can take a business seat. I didn't really have any other choice. It was an extra $600 on top of what I've already paid. But as I said, I didn't really have a choice. There was no way of getting out of Belarus. in time to not overstay my visa. So anyway, I took the flight, and it was pretty good so far. So we came up, of course. When you fly business, then you go straight to there was no queue. My suitcase was wrapped in cling film because it's basically on its last legs. It's pretty much burst. I was going to buy a new one while I was here, but I couldn't be bothered going to the shops. So I think the woman was a bit surprised that I was in business because I was a foreigner as well. I think she thought I was in the wrong queue. But anyway, so I checked in my suitcase that's wrapped in cling film, and then again, it's quite a small airport, so you go through the private security pass thing, so there's no queue there, and now I'm in the business lounge. So I'm going to go up and get some food, get a coffee, then I'm going to show you on the plane. Bear in mind, if you flew like business for Emirates or something, and there's a bar in the plane, and there's beds that lay right down, or you've got your own little section, it's not going to be like that. Alright, I checked out the seating plan of Belavia Business. There's 2 different types of planes. I think I'm on a 737, which means nothing to me, but any of you plane buffs will know. And it looks like it's just a 3 and a 3, but in business they fold down the middle seat, so you've got a little bit more leg room, or elbow room, sorry. I don't even know if you've got more leg room. And then I think the food will be better. And they'll put the little curtain behind me. So it's not going to be the really good business class, but it's slightly better than economy, I think. So let's go get some food and a coffee. Alright guys, we're going to move it up here because we're going to eat some food. Let me show you around. There's people having a little private party in there. It's literally 5:30 in the morning. But this is the business class lounge in Minsk International Airport in Belarus. So let's go. Let's see what we can have. We got a little bar here, and we got some food. Looks like some eggs, some meat. What's in here? Pancakes. Let's get a coffee after this lady, and some water and some juice. Right, I'm going to grab some stuff, guys, and then I'll see you back at the table. I can't believe what just happened. Little lady over there, you can probably see her. I'm not going to do a close-up, not going to shame her, but absolutely gave me a right showing up there. That's a Scottish phrase for embarrassed me. I was just getting some eggs, right? Got some eggs, some meat, stuff like that. And she comes up and she's like, "No, stop." She tries to chuck me out. She thinks I've sneaked in and tried to steal boiled eggs. She's like, you need to register. She's just, literally, you give her like a little piece of card, like a boarding pass. It looks like a bit like a boarding pass. It's got your name on it. Came in here about 15 minutes ago, gave her it, sat down, made a little video, went up, got some food, and she's taken my plate off me. There's only about 20 people in here. Minsk International Airport Business Lounge, sort your receptionist out. Couldn't believe it. There's a queue of people. She leaves her station to come over to try and take my plate off me. Does she think I've really snuck in to steal a boiled egg? Unbelievable. Alright guys, I'm just recording this on my phone now because I can't be getting the camera out just now. It's literally an economy seat, but nobody sits next to you, like the little curtains behind me. I knew it was going to be, but come on, Belavia, check it out. Just an economy seat with nobody next to you. Let's hope the food's at least a little bit better. Alright, here we go. When I got on the plane, they gave me this cup of juice. I think Russians call it morse. But it wasn't a glass, so you know you're in business when they trust you with glass. Absolutely zero legroom, just an economy seat. They don't fold the middle one down, there's just nobody on it. Here's the menu. I was asleep, I woke up, everybody was eating, so I said, give me the menu. and I ordered the meat, the beef. Then they gave me this little hot towel to wash my hands. Put down a tablecloth. Unbelievable. On an economy seat. Then we got the beef and carrots, potatoes, some bread rolls, some butter and a salt and pepper shaker. The cheese was pretty good. I don't know what that pink cheese was. Appelsin with sock, orange juice. Then we got the old Belavia napkin, along with a salad and the metal knife and fork. You can't beat the metal knife and fork. When you're on the plane, here's me looking absolutely rough. I'd been up all night. Terrible lighting. But the food was really good. Well done, Belavia, on the food. The seat was terrible, but the food was good. I even gave it a thumbs up in the video. And you also get this little bag. And here's what's in the bag. You get that. I did actually use that to help me sleep. Socks. I was wearing socks already, so I didn't use them. And we got a ложка, which means spoon in Russian, for putting your shoes on. Earplugs, toothbrush, comb, all that good stuff. A pen, and I left it all on the plane. I didn't even take it with me. Oh, and I forgot, we also got a pillow and a blanket. Cheers. Alright guys, I made it to my room in Istanbul. I'll be here for a few nights before I go back to Scotland. Check it out, it's quite a good bed though, isn't it? Let me know in the comments if you want a little tour of the hotel room and anything like that. I'm going to go out and look. It looks quite nice outside actually. Never been in Istanbul before. I'm going to go check it out, get myself a coffee, some food. Thanks very much for watching Belavia Business Class. I got accused of stealing eggs. It was basically an economy seat. The food was quite good though. But other than that, that was my full review. See you next time.